Hey, okay, now we're good. Yeah, I don't know, internet flickered or something. I don't know what's going on. Let's back up. I'm your old pal Nick Filardi. I'm a professional colorist, but an amateur artist, and I like to doodle. And it doesn't have to go anywhere. It doesn't have to do anything. We're just gonna chill with it. Uh, it is 11:20. It is a Thursday, and it's a warm in the North Carolina mountains. I always feel like I'm a little bit like David Lynch when I introduce that way. You know, it's a sunny day in California. He always had those bits. I don't know. Um, but yeah, we're just gonna get into it. So I watched. If you watched the last stream, I talked about room interiors, and I kept saying interiors and comics, and like nobody does comics interiors, and I could understand how that would mean like pages to a lot of people. That's not what I meant. I didn't mean pages. I meant like background, interior room backgrounds. That's what I meant. I was thinking about interiors because I was thinking interior rooms, um, rather than exterior buildings, which is like what we're gonna do today. Um, also rewatched that Daniel Warren Johnson thing about perspective. I dropped it into my Discord. We're gonna try that today. We're gonna try doing some Daniel Warren Johnson perspective a little bit. Uh, See how that goes. But before we do, we're gonna put an album on and figure out what we're putting on. We're putting on the New Pornographers in the Morse code of brake lights. Got that going. Got Pinterest up. Okay. Pinterest shrunk on this screen. I was like, where did it go? Let me figure this out. It's because I changed the window size to see the chat. All right. No more delays. Let's get into it. Okay. So I rewatched the Daniel Warren Johnson thing. Uh, and let's try to like, I don't know, use that a little bit. So we're gonna sketch in the box kind of thing. Maybe we should just, instead of doing these, that we're going to be drawing in. Here we go. Now, obviously, Daniel Warren Johnson, a little more practiced at drawing than I am, but we're going to try to use his tips. We're going to use tips. So, this is what he suggested. And this is what apparently Lee Weeks told him about this. So, like, if we are thinking about the building and we just want to like rough it in, and this is the thing that I was talking about the other day. It's like perspective can seem overwhelming and like feels like not the fun part of drawing and blah blah blah. So this tries to like get around it. So we're gonna just kind of sketch where we think the box is gonna be. Um, it looks like kind of like leans a little bit like this, and then like that kind of thing, and then down the street here, and then kind of like, I think I maybe exaggerated the 3 point perspective here, but we can try it. It doesn't look too exaggerated, does it? This is what I'm talking about. You got to figure out the vibe. Um, We'll do another sketch. Cause I don't know that the 3 point on this building is very very subtle, and even we didn't even have to do the 3 point. We could do 2 point and like figure it out that way. Um, like we could just do straight down. The corner of the building kind of splits. No, it is 3 point. It's very subtle though. Corner of the building kind of splits from like here to like here. Trying to notice it within the frame. And then like do like a very slow slope down here. And then like back this way. And then this is like way more pronounced. Like something like this, maybe? The right side looks weird to me, but I think because it's like way less sloped than this. I'm trying to see it like this shape right here. That negative space between the edge of the building and the edge of the actual image. I'm trying to get a read on that. Like maybe something like this. That's a little more straight. And then this looks like a little more accurate. Maybe? Maybe? I don't know what this is. And then, like, this, maybe? Okay, so we have, like, our general box. Like, this is general box. We have kind of, like, an idea of, like, how we want this to go. So, the idea that Daniel Warren Johnson has with all of this is, and we'll try to do this with a mouse rather than our hands because we want it to be as straight as possible. Let's just dial our box back, and then we take our. Now normally, it's like you could do this with a ruler, but since we're working digital, we're gonna just try to get the lines correct. We got one here. We got one here. This is a little bit of problem because it goes off screen, but I'll show you what we mean on this side. And with the 3 point for sure. So we got a line here. We got one here. So the idea is that you would take like this and then like cut it in half and then take this and cut it in half. Since we can't measure it, well, I mean, I guess we could. I do have a ruler right here. But I think maybe it'd be easier to do it like trying to figure out like how tall do you think this is? Like, is that the middle? That looks like the middle, but we can check. Nope. Okay, I think I know where the middle is. I think it's like right there. So like this is middle. Yeah, we're like pretty solidly on the middle right here. So the middle is right there. So we have a check mark here, a check mark here, a check mark here. And then we can do it on the same thing on this side. Middle looks like here. I'm just duplicating the same shape, and if it overlaps, we're not in the middle. Middle should be like here. It doesn't have to be like, you know, totally perfect, but yeah, looks like the middle's like right there. So check mark here, check mark here, check mark here. So we have like a shorter side and a longer side, right? And then we can go, okay, here to here, and then we can do the same thing, like cut this guy in half. Oh, Photoshop just figured it out for us. Thanks. Photoshop's like, I know what you want. It's like here. I don't know why it popped up then, but didn't pop up now. It's giving me width and height. Height is is like 3 inches, so we could do like 1.5 is like we can get it exact even. Like here. So here to here. So then now we have like, you know, we're making our grid. So this is like one, this is another, and then we do another one, and then we do another one, and like you kind of do that. We could actually break this up into slightly smaller to make it like workable. This is 2.402 inches. It's probably hard for you to see on your screen, but Photoshop's giving me the height. 2.4. So we want 1.2. As close to 1.2 as we can get, like right there. Photoshop says 1.56, so 75 or maybe like 78. Yeah. Right there. So we just, boop, there we go. Okay. So now we kind of have like our breakdown of like, I think like once we have this grid, like we'll be good. So instead of like trying to measure out every single line, I'm just going to take this edge here and just be like, okay, here, here, here. And it should line up to that, which it does. Here, here. And do this one down here. And this one here. Lines up to that one. Lines here. And then here. And then we're off the canvas. So, and we'll do the same thing on this side. So this side's shorter, so it's going to be more little tick marks. Here, 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 here. This one's a little on the longer side. We're just gonna roll with it, and then we'll go here, 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 here. My dog farted. Here, here. We are not gonna let it stop us. Her tootin', and we can just drop the grid in. Oh, I guess we could do more up there if we wanted. We're just gonna eyeball it because I don't think there's anything above this anyway, so it doesn't really matter. We'll do this one here, this one here, and then there's like one more down here. So that's one side. Oh, missed one. There we go. Okay. So like, that's one side of the grid. We're just gonna fade it a little bit so that we can start to work on the other side. Um, so I'm gonna try to find like the center of a rectangle in perspective. This is why people think it's work. It's because now I'm doing stuff like this to find the center of a rectangle in perspective. Is this? Are we in grayscale or are we in RGB? We're in grayscale. Um, the reason that I'm trying to find the center of this is because we're kind of like off screen here. So I'd like to get a center here and then a center here and try to make another line so we can have like a better baseline. So it looks like the center button is here. And then we'll find the center of this. Which should be like here, I want to say. How are we going to do this? Let's think for a minute. We can copy it, paste it on a separate layer, turn it so it's straight. This is why no one wants to do this. Like, the whole point of this is that you sketch it in as like a vibe and like you're just kind of doodling and then you do these marks and then you can just gesture in the rest of it. So it's going to be less work eventually. We're going to get there eventually. Just bear with me. I'm not crying, you're crying. So this is 8.06. So 4.02. It is that check mark right here. So okay, we'll just do that. We'll just do it right there. Okay, let's do the other side of this thing. So this is the first one, and then we're gonna do this to here as the second one. And we can figure this out. Just wing it. Yeah. So, okay. You bring up a good point of just wing it because we kind of just wung it yesterday, and like we wung it. And then I was like, yeah, I'm pretty happy with that one. And then I was looking at it later, and I was like, the bottom shelves on those bookshelves look a little wonky. So I was like, maybe we should have gotten like better at this a little bit. So I don't know. I'm trying to put in the time today. We're trying it out. And that's what sketchbooks are for. Trying stuff out. So we're 6.55. So we want like, what is that? 3.3, 3.27. That's like here. Man, we're like lining up with all these other check marks. That's kind of weird. What do we got here? 2.4 ish. So what's that? 1.2. Like here. Yeah, I think we found the horizon. Because when these line up, we got the horizon there. Okay, so now let's break it down further. Okay, this one's like much more sharper than the other side. So we've got 3.3. So we want 1.5 point math like here, and then this one's gonna be much sharper. This is only 1.3, so we want 0.7, 0.6.5, like right here. So okay, so we have I'm not going to get more in the weeds than these. So we're just going to take these check marks now and kind of like drop them into the left and right side. So we got this side. Right here and right here. How's it going, books, by the way? And we're gonna go, oh, we're a little short. We're a little short. Does that matter? We just wing it? We just wing it. let's back it up. What if we did it? What if we just fixed it on the fly? Does anything matter? Nothing matters. There's no rules. Throw out the rule book. There's nothing that says the dog can't play basketball. Okay. So we're working on our check marks over here. We're putting in our little dots on the side. And it's weird because we got 2 dots down there that I keep trying to line up, and I don't know if that's right. Probably not right. But like I said, nothing in the rule book. So we're just going to keep doing that. So we're just going to like duplicate. Oh, that's not what we want. We're just duplicating. This side's like way more angular because we're doing a lot more of this duplication. And we could even get, if we want to get like real saucy, since we're doing a lot of these on this side, we just grab a big chunk of them. Just duplicate the whole big chunk. Your very unserious companies today unveiled an AI tool called Vibes, where you can tell a large language model what you want, and then it makes a thing for you entirely on vibes. Well, if the large language model can do it, we can do it, right? Isn't that the way it works? Okay. So, let's put the rest of these in. Okay, this one's wrong. Wait. Let's back it all up. We're going all the way back. You hear that sound? That's me going all the way back. Tech is in a weird space right now. Yeah. I think that center was not center. Or the top one's wrong? How can the top one be wrong? It's the only other one. It literally can't be wrong. What if we just extended the top one? We just blast it out. We just put it up here. I'm having a crisis. I'm having what I would call a Daniel Warren Johnson crisis. Okay. We're just gonna try to do this right side. Like, we're just gonna vibes. It's fine. It's fine. Okay, if it's like up here, right? What is this? 12.7. You don't need to know math for art. Yeah. 12.7. So we want 6.6? No, 6.4. We're going to call it 12.8 so we can do 6.4. And surely that won't bite us in the ass. $6.4. All right. There's the point. There's the point. Like I said before, a smarter person than me would probably build these. Yeah, the sweating emoji. Would probably build these structures beforehand and then just drop them in. 4.04. So we're gonna say what is that? 2.2, 2.02, 2.07, 06, 04, 03, 02. All right. I think that might be too technical. Okay. All right. This looks more right. We'll do a half one of this guy. What is this? 2.01. Okay, we're just gonna call it 2. We're just gonna do a 1. Again, this is where I think our horizon is. 6.38. We're just gonna let 6.4. 3.2. Yep, this is where our horizon is. Shouldn't it be just straight across? If it's the horizon, like right there, we're gonna do that. That's the horizon. I've decided. This is definitely not half. This is definitely not half. The pixels. .97. Oh my god. This is a fucking disaster. None of this is fun. Uh, 1.9. So what's that like? 1.9 is like it's almost 2, so it should be a little under 1. Maybe like a little over 1.9. So it should be like here. We goofed this side. We really did. Okay. So that's where the half is. Let's double check our half on this side. $6.35. 3.3. Is that right? That's not right. 6.35. So it should be 3.12175. I mean, we're quabbling over like the new dot, the old dot. Like maybe we're fine. I'm just gonna yeah. Look at that. Pixel perfect. I'm not crying, you're crying. Okay. Now let's just start dropping in some stuff. Let's see if this lines up. This lines up. Excellent. All right, let's get these guys in. This side's like way larger than the other side. I don't know if that's gonna be a problem. Is that a problem? No, it's fine. Everything's fine. We're all doing fine here. All right. It's like we can't even work this side. It's 1 point. That one. And then this one to like this one down here. Wait, no, it's not. It's like this one to this one. This one like way up here somewhere. I don't even know if that's right. This is madness. Where we've entered is madness. I'm gonna start eyeballing it. Fuck it. So anyway, don't live like me. Now let's figure out the third point perspective. Because this is a fun time for me and not a mental breakdown at all. At all. At all. Definitely having a blast with this. Okay. The third point should be a little easier because it's less pronounced. Okay, we got one here, we got one here, we got one here, we got one here. Let's figure this out. Uh, 2.19, 2.2 maybe. So 1.1. Like here. What's this? 2.6. So 1.3. Like here, here, here. We'll do. Put the bottom in there so we have it. We need bottom. We need bottoms. And we got the 3 up here, so we're just gonna like I did before. I think the thing that was tripping me up is that like this side is like so pronounced. Like the difference between the gaps on the left side to the right side was like huge on that other point. And I think it's because we're closer to the actual closer to the actual vanishing point. Like like when you look at this photo, if you turn just like a little more right, you probably be staring down the vanishing point, and that's why. All right. This one's going a lot better, right? A lot better. Okay. This is our grid. Congratulations, we did it. Stream's done. Yeah. All right. So from here, we've done all the work, and now we're gonna do all the fun. Maybe. Let's just drop in some quick frame on the whole thing that like looks correct. If we can get this thing to work right, yeah, okay. All right. So we have our frame, we have our perspective grid. this looked wrong. But you know what? We're gonna stick to the grid, and we're not gonna roll with my sketchy bullshit. We're gonna stick to the grid. Um, maybe even fade the grid a little bit. Is this? Do we put the? Oh my god, are we doing the grid on multiple? All right, hold on. Combine these. Sorry, I was having layer issues. Okay, so we've got our grid, and it looks fine. Now we can kind of start sketching. Okay. So we got street kind of in like the bottom here. We're not sketching on the right layer. You know what? Let's really shrink it so we can kind of gesture in the shapes. We got kind of street like this, and then like corner of the building here. And you see how we can kind of like, since we've done all the stuff that sucks, we can kind of now just gesture stuff in. And it looks like we're geniuses. And we've clearly never been geniuses along the way here. Very, very clearly never been geniuses. Okay. Now I want to kind of like highlight the deli because I think the deli is cool. I don't know if we're okay. So like, here's the thing, right? The building is 4 stories tall. We've got the corner of the building. It looks small. Should we make it tall? Oh yeah, it reaches to like the top of the thing. I don't know what. I gotta start looking at spatial relationships. It's like up here. I don't know what I was thinking. Let's erase this. Erase this. Okay. Because I was looking at it and I was like, man, how am I going to fit 4 stories in this composition? And then I was like, oh, we just make the building taller. Okay. So, this is about halfway. This is about another story. So we're just going to kind of like jot these stories in. And you know, I'm not like using a ruler. I'm not a nerd. We're gonna say the fire escape is like a super complex object. Uh, so we're going to try to figure it out in a meaningful way. But like the fire escape is like so complex that you can almost be like vibes, baby. Like, oh, did we went down. We went down when we should have gone up. All right, we're figuring out the fire escape. this floor definitely looks taller than this floor. It definitely is. How do we fix that? Oh, I know how we're going to fix it. Like this. Just, there we go. Fixed. This is technically when I should be doing the finding the center, getting the thing in perspective, the 4 notches up. But fuck that shit. We've done enough math today. Vibes only from here on out. Because you know what? Uh, sometimes doing backgrounds is not super fun, and we want to make it super fun. So we're gonna see how much we can get away with. That's the lesson for today: is how much can we get away with. Okay, and then we got a set of windows here. Window, window, window. Yeah, these floors are definitely not correct, but we're rolling with it. And then we're gonna duplicate these windows. Can we do that? I don't think we can do that actually because they're in perspective. Damn it. Oh man, we really just got to grid this thing out like an idiot. Maybe backgrounds are a mistake. Maybe no one should do backgrounds. Um, and then there's more windows. I don't know. Whatever. This over there doesn't matter. Um, what matters is the diner. We got like a signage here. Everything's fine. Again, I'm not crying, you're crying. Do window, window, window. We're just kind of like sketching it in because we'll figure it out later. We'll do the diner down here, the signage. We're being very loose. You know, like the advantage of working in a program like this is you can kind of zoom out like this, and it's like, oh, we're doing our thumbnail. Um, on top of our grid, and then we can zoom in and like add a bunch of detail wherever we want it. Looks like about halfway through the window is this building, and then it comes down. You know, we might lose some of the stuff on the right side, which is a little unfortunate because I kind of wanted to draw it, but uh, yeah, maybe the 3 point was a little more pronounced than I thought it was, than I initially drew it, but it's fine. You know, we'll lose that stuff. Heck it. We didn't, you know what? I didn't need it anyway. I didn't want it, didn't need it. We'll do like a little interior door thing here. And then do the other building over here. Again, feels like I'm doing books again. Do some like sky cloud kind of stuff up here. And we got like a subway station right here. And like I said, you know, we did all this work to kind of like put down the grid, and now we're reaping all the reward because like it's like, oh yeah, I need a subway station here. I just like jot it in, you know? It's like no big deal. Do the curb, and then like the crosswalk. Buildings of the bookshelves of nature. You're not wrong. Like the little, put a little signage here. Maybe put a trash can here. Uh, so this is kind of our sketch where we're starting. Uh, Gonna work and lurk. Yeah. Oh, thanks, man. Um, but real quick, I just wanted to say, a lot of artists, in order to avoid doing this in comics, you'll see a lot of panels that look like this, where they draw. They'll draw like a street scene, you know. And with comics, a lot of times you want to put the here we're gonna switch because we're covering a lot of ground here. I want to draw quicker. Um, do the horizon like lower to try to like emphasize a character. So they do this like really low horizon line, and they'll put a character here, like guy with his hands in his pockets. He's like walking or whatever, his feet and that kind of thing. And then they'll be like, okay, we're gonna draw this side of the street, you know, and we're gonna put this in perspective, and like this looks good, and it's like, oh, it's kind of 2 point. We're gonna do 2 point over here, right? That's what we're doing over here, and but then they'll get to like this side of the street, and they'll just do like this, like they'll make it like so slanted that you could barely even see, like this side of the street is like barely noticeable, and then they'll take it and they'll put uh like a trash can here, so you can't really even see down here, and then they'll put like a street light here, and they'll put another street light here, so that way you can't tell. So then they really only have to draw this side of the street in like 1 point, and then they can put the second point perspective of like this stuff anywhere they want. And it's like, well, it doesn't really matter because like we're not even seeing this side of the street. It's a little life hack for like, once you see this drawing, this kind of like layout, um once you're aware of it, you see it everywhere in comics. Like comics thrives on little tips and tricks like that to try to like get around um, having to do a lot of work with comics. But here's our nonsense that we drew that makes very little sense. Let's turn it into an actual drawing. Okay. I don't know how we're going to turn this into an actual drawing. I guess we're just going to start at the top and work our way down. So we have all these little like sconce or details, like this kind of like. And as much as I want to draw all of those, we can just go like this. Be like, all right, here's some more, here's some more, here's some more. And like these should go back in perspective, but heck it. I was thinking about Books was saying vibes before, uh, and we're just gonna try and make these guys look a little unique, add a little like detail to them. I think my album ended. It definitely did because we've been streaming for 50 minutes. because I lost my mind trying to plot perspective. Let's see if I can put a new album on. I don't know what we're gonna put on. Give me 2 seconds here. We are going to put on Hey Mercedes, Every Night Fireworks. This is a classic from my late teen years, but I still kind of like it. But yeah, like Boyks was saying about like vibes. Um, I think vibes are actually kind of more important than uh, getting everything correct. You know what I mean? I think that there's a reason that like, 90s artists like became very popular is because they're like almost entirely vibes. So we're gonna do like a kind of a cloud, kind of. Push that back a little bit. And we can actually mostly pull the perspective grid out since we're not necessarily really using it. Um, like feeling the picture is better than doing everything correctly and then like ending up with a end result that like is just not, you feel nothing, like that. At least that's my opinion, and maybe that's informs like how loose I get when I draw, because I'm like not really concerned with, and maybe this is a skill issue, you know like maybe if I had a higher level of skill I'd be like, we have to be more precise. I love being precise, but as it stands, I do not love being precise. I don't think there's any fun in there, and I want to get to the fun, you know. All right, let's get the other wall sconce. I gotta get the photo up here. I wasn't even looking. Um, the other thing is, the more you work from life with this kind of thing, the more your details you're going to build within your I don't know what to call it, your mind palace. So like one of the things I really struggled with when I was in college was that like I didn't draw enough or a diversity of objects. So when I had to draw something that was like a building, I was like windows. What are windows? How, like, and then when you draw like a street scene, it's like, okay, now I have to draw 6 different windows. And I'm like, oh god, do they all have to be different? And it's like they kind of all have to be different. And it's just I just ended up in this place of like, oh god, can I pull 6 different windows out of my butt? And you gotta imagine my butt is not a deep butt. So, and we're it's uh at the time when I was in college, we are pre not pre-internet, but there was like, no Pinterest, no Google Photos. Like, if you wanted a drawing or a shot of a building to pull reference from, you had to like go to the building and take a picture. So I was like just real in the weeds. My ADD ass wasn't like figuring out what windows look like as I was walking around town. I just wasn't. So I'm like straightening edges now, which is like kind of a weird place to be because we don't have our grid up. So maybe I should throw the grid up so we can get the edge nice and straight to where we want it. And then we can kind of do what we did over here, where let's just darken this whole side. And then add some like sconces here. Or I don't even know. They're not like sconces. I don't know what they are. But we're going to add a bunch of them. And like, I don't really care to do them all in like tight detail because in my opinion they don't really matter. Because like nobody's gonna be like, look at the detail on those. What are they called? Sconces? Did you call them sconces, Nick? Yeah, and I'm gonna be like, yeah, the sconce detail. No, nobody cares. You gotta put your time in where it's gonna be appreciated. An artist that really understood that was Jean Paul Leon. Sometimes he would just like, and I'm gonna attempt it here. I'm gonna attempt some JPL style. We're gonna see how that goes. But he would like just stop drawing the windows. Like he'd just gesture a few in, and then it would just blank for the rest of the thing, rest of the building side. And I'm like, yeah, yeah. Like who cares? It's vibe based. Okay. Which we're gonna kind of attempt because I want to focus you down here on the diner, which means that the least detail at the top will keep you on the bottom. Your eyes go where there's like detail. So let's try to manage that. So we have these corner bricks. And I guess we'll put the perspective grid back in because we're gonna kind of need it. And I'm just like eyeballing these guys. Clearly. So it's like, yeah, these like corner bricks, we could spend time like plotting them out and getting them all like perfect and everything, but it's also like, is that the draw? Like, I would rather just like kind of drop them in. Um, we could even get them a little bit. I'm like, yeah, the corner bricks. We don't have to put any detail in them. And then I'm like, let's add some detail. I'm trying to one of the things that I'm trying to do this time around when I'm drawing, and there's been some several times around if you're curious, because like, I was trying to find my way through college, and I was trying to find my way. Well, I was like, I've been periodically picking it up again over the years, where I like start to kind of draw again and then just kind of fall off, and I'm trying to stick with it this time, make like a conscious effort to like really, really like be like, all right. Um, but one of the things that I really want to do this time around, not only stick with it, but just like be conscious of like my gut instinct a little bit, because I feel like your gut tells you like you want to figure out your style. It's like that gut instinct of like, why are we spending time here? This sucks. I don't like this. Like, once you figure out all the fundamentals, and then you start getting in there and you're like, oh, this lights my fire, this does not. You can kind of start to uh, kind of realize like what you actually want out of it. So I'm trying to pay attention to that a little bit. When I was in college, that was like very difficult for me to figure out, because um, I just like I liked everything. I was still absorbing as an artist, and I hadn't read enough comics. Um, and it's not like I was saying before about like the Google Images. It's not like how it is now, where like we have access to everything all the time. Um, so what happened was is like I absorbed everything I could, but like was also easily distractible, and uh, I wanted to like try a bunch of things, which is great. You should try things, but it didn't really help me kind of like figure out how I wanted to draw. Like I needed to figure it out for myself. And part of that is like being able to like look at a thing and be like, "Oh, I love this for them, but not necessarily for me." And I think I didn't quite have that ability yet. I think that was like hard for me to figure out at the time. I feel like I'm getting more comfortable in it now. We kind of made this guy a little on the long side, so we're just gonna, in order to get like the depth here, he's thicker on this side than he is on this side. This side's like a lot thinner. All right, so we have kind of a window here, And we could like I duplicated all over the place, just duplicating all over the place. Uh, we could maybe just take it and go, okay. Can we just hmm. Hmm. What if can I just duplicate all over the place? Warp it, distort. Yes. Look at the raw power that I have. The elements bend to my will. I don't know if this is actually good or not. We may need to like clean it up. Yeah, this looks terrible. Oh, let's just draw all the fucking windows, I guess. Alright. If we're going to draw all the windows, we're going to get some of this trash mark making out of here. At least fade it. So it's like, okay, we want to spend time on the diner, and now we're here making fucking windows, and it's like, okay, well, do we really want to do that, or like,
I gotta ask you something.
hmm?
I'm doing the Chewy order. Can I send it to the PO box since you got packages to?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Shannon was asking me about the Chewy dog order that we were putting in. This guy's smaller up here. It's like one little platform. So like I think that the fire escape is like kind of more interesting than the windows. So like let's just kind of like from here like gesture in the windows. And it's like if they're not perfect, they're not it's fine. But like I'm gonna try to John Paul this, and like he's far better draftsman than I am. So let's take those expectations and tap them right down. Um, but yeah, we can kind of like does it have a railing? It does. Crazy, like these things are like so complex. Who would ever design it this way? What are they trying to do? Save lives? So it's like, yeah, okay, we have a very solid uh, window here, and then like they're gonna get like sketchier as we go. This like I want the viewer here, well, like here. Um, so let's draw like tight windows on the corner. And then as we go this way, we'll kind of like sketch it up a little bit. There's like a air conditioner. This is the kind of stuff too, like what I was saying, it was hard for me to kind of like build my mental palace. It'll be easy, they said. Uh, of like stuff. This is the kind of stuff that like you notice when you've been drawing a lot. It's like, okay, now I have this same um, window, but now with an air conditioner, and this is what it looks like with the air conditioner. And then it's like, okay, well, now I can mentally be like, sometimes people put air conditioners in their windows, and so like I can add that. I can add that in. That's in my lexicon now. It's like I wouldn't maybe never have thought that if I was just drawing from whatever. This guy actually goes all the way to the window. So, thinking about if we should just move the. Could we just move it with the stairs? What if we just moved it with the stairs? Does that work? Nah, it doesn't really work. We'll just extend it. Get these stairs out of here. I also one of the things that I like to draw is things that look like they're about to fall apart, like extremely worn, extremely weathered. And so like I feel like every time I draw, I'm always like trying to draw these like rickety, like lived in kind of things. And I'm like, man, I should just lean into that. Make everything rickety. Maybe the sun's catching like the top of the a fire escape here, so we get like kind of like lose some of these details in the side of it. Or like the tops. Maybe even like lose a little details in the bottoms. This should go all the way to the wall. Sorry, guy, you don't get to get out of your apartment if there's a fire. We'll do this one, make it a little sketchier. There's like these little half windows here, but we're not even gonna bother because heck it. It's like the ladder on this side. These slots are probably too close together, but vibes, man. Who cares? Get that energy in. I'm almost like, can we get like just like a little bit of like glow to the steel? I might be overthinking it. I think I'm overthinking it. This is a delicate balance of like form versus like vibes. That's what's happening right now. Form versus vibes. Shrink that a little. And kind of like gesture in some kind of shadows for the window. You're like, it doesn't have to be perfect. I do want to highlight the corner of this thing, so we're going to try to do that. So it kind of like maintains its shape. All right, I like this. It's got a little energy to it. By the way, if you like what I'm doing, feel free to drop likes, comments, share, all that stuff. Because not only is it just free and nice, but it's also like extremely encouraging because we're gonna put a little cat up here. Fake McCoy hates what I'm doing. It's not the most encouraging. Because it just, I don't know. I'm like kind of putting myself out here in like a weird way that I'm like not normally used to. So it's just like I feel that encouragement a little bit more than when like like if I'm coloring and somebody and it's like nobody's watching or whatever, like nobody's saying anything or one way or the other. It's like that's fine. Like this is my job. Like I'm confident enough in it that like who cares? Like, but a buddy of mine, from college actually was like, I caught some of your sketches and like was into them. Uh, I was like, oh, thanks, man. Like, felt good, felt good. That it wasn't just like I wasn't just chucking stuff out there and embarrassing myself. Let's think about shadow for these windows. I kind of like gesture them in appropriately. There's gonna be like a lighter side, a darker side. So we're gonna try to like abstract these guys a little bit on this side. Maybe even like throw in a shadow. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's what we're gonna do, but thanks, bud. I'm not trying to like fish for compliments. I was just make it a point, like even in general, like even if it's not, we're not talking about me. Uh, when it comes to this kind of thing, like I don't know, a little bit goes a long way. It's very easy to just watch like you know a bunch of background noise of somebody sketching and then like just move on with your life. And I get it, I do that. But yeah, let's be encouraging with each other. Positive. This corner should technically be here because they would all line up. I'm just realizing that. Ah, crap. You did it right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Encouragement, Fake McCoy. Also, speaking of encouragement, um, I dropped my pins, my Pinterest account, into the Discord. You can hop in the Discord. There's links and stuff around. Um, you could check out my pins if you want to do some drawing on your own. Man, backgrounds, they take forever. Put some like bricks in. They don't have to be perfect because we're like far enough zoomed out that like, you know, just want to add a little texture to it. Oh, we need the other stairs, huh? Yep. Okay. Maybe even do the stairs in the same angle. Yep, yep, yep. I was like, it's weird that I could see so much of that door, and I'm like, oh, it's because we didn't finish the. It's like the thing just kind of like fell apart over here at the end. And I'm like, oh, because I didn't finish drawing it. Right. That'll probably help. Okay, this sketchy mess. Let's figure out this diner. I might make the window a little larger just so I can have space to kind of like get in here. Draw the stuff I want to draw. We should do the diner signage though, because that's probably going to influence everything else around it. This is pretty straight and pretty not where it's lining up in the grid. So we're just gonna tilt it a little bit down. Okay. Yeah. So little, a lot of detail. It's like with the staircases, like you were saying, dig that you added so much detail with so little on the staircases. Yeah, that's the stuff that I want to get into. It's like, how do we how do we work smarter, not harder? And like, how do we make it feel the vibe rather than being like hyper detailed, you know? That's what I want. That's the stuff that I'm going to enjoy doing. Full disclosure, too, it's like I'm trying to figure this out in the sketchbook because, like, I don't totally know how to transfer this to comics yet. Like, and I know that like the answer is you just draw a dummy. Like you just draw it. Draw it however you want to draw it. But it's also like you start to throw in comics and you like start to kind of the sign is not the right proportion. I want it wider. Start to juggle like storytelling elements and then readability and things like that, and it can kind of escalate into like something larger than I'd necessarily like want. So I'm like, okay, how do I figure out how to get this like this looseness next to a loose drawing next to a tight drawing that feels good and has a really interesting vibe, and then put that next to comics, you know? Like how do I get it to do that? And I don't know that I have it totally figured out, which is why I want to do sketchbook stuff. Like I don't know what this text says on this sign, so we're just gonna gesture it in. I think that this is the thing, is like I think that there's a way to kind of like lean into the way that it just had a word balloon, now it's a comic. Yeah, I'm overthinking it, I'm sure, but I think that there's a way to kind of all the neat stuff from Cave Carson. I don't know. I just did it. Just got the vibes going. I don't know how I gotta get all that neat stuff from Cave Carson in there. Here's how it happened. I worked for 15 years in the comic industry and then figured it out. I had a ridiculous amount of experience. So I'll just do this for like 15 years. And then when I'm 70, you can pick up uh, my first zine. I mean, I'm laughing, but I'm like, it doesn't sound so bad. It's a life well lived, I think. It's like a weird burger icon here. And like a little alien guy. some wiring to the sign here. I mean, I won't be 70 in 15 years. 60? In my 60s. You can please buy my $5 zine in my 60s. It's all about the enviro wars that we're currently under. It's about how my family can't afford water anymore. It's grim, but really tastefully drawn. Okay, so these bricks are different than the bricks up there, so we're going to make them different in the corner here. I just assume everybody's going to be joining Kevin Costner in the Water Wars in the future. Right? That's what's going on. No superheroes, I'm out. Yeah. You know what's funny about like people's preferences too? Um, it's wild to me when like someone is like won't read a black and white comic because they're like, oh, the drawings aren't colored in. Well, I think I'm gonna have to sit this one out. I can't handle it if it's not colored in. But it's like kind of a real thing that really happens. You know, we did not do these bricks very well, but I'm rolling with it. They're just like they're a little too chunky, just a little too chunky. Okay. So there's like a weird like chicken logo. There's like signage in the signage in the Ooh, the music changed again. I've been streaming for a while. I've dropped 13% frames. Great. Great. All right, we're gonna finish like the front of this, like the subway here, and then probably call it just for time, not because I don't want to finish it. So like the subway has these like really chunky corners, and then like we're gonna try to I'm going to put a quick advertisement on this. We'll cap it with like a little. You know what? I think I'm like reading the image in a weird way. All right. There's like a larger pole right here. And then the weird like half thing that subways have. About the same size. About the same size. I'm rushing a little bit through it now, just because I want to like kind of get it to a place where it's a little bit aesthetically pleasing. Whew, my dog is cutting them. We're gonna cheat a little. Some grayscale to try to get this to like look like it's more complete than it actually is. Yeah, my playlist has fallen into songs not in English, so I know that I'm like deep in it. Getting a lot of buffering on the stream today. Yeah, I've dropped 15% of frames for some reason. I turned off my VPN. Like, I should be good. Hopefully, it doesn't come across in the porting the VOD over to YouTube. These guys should actually be a little. Has like a little dip in the road kind of thing. Let's. Okay. We're going to try to gesture in a lot of the other side of this. Because, like I was saying, like, I wanted it to be like, hey, diner. So we're gonna try to get it to like maybe like think about light and shadow in a way to kind of like cheat this a little bit to make it look a little more finished than it actually is. By dropping a lot of this stuff into shadow. When doubt, black it out is a common thing in comics. Do the curb here. Maybe get the sign to like glow a little bit. And like the diner itself, like the interior lights. Yeah, maybe I just gotta lower the bitrate a bit. Yeah, you might be right. But it's weird though, because like I streamed yesterday, 0 drop frames, and I used the VPN. So I was like, oh, we should be good. And then today has been like very odd with the um with everything. And do the other sign over here because I like doing the sign. What does it say? Something something restaurant? There we go. Now let's think about light in order to cheat the rest of this. We're gonna black out like a lot of these windows, and then kind of like put highlights on them where we think the light would be. So like under here, probably on the edge here. Maybe up here just a little bit like that. We're gonna like just basically like carve it out of the wall here. And then think about like probably on the edge here would be like another trim kind of thing. And then we could probably try to do like, I know it's not in the original drawing, but maybe like this building sticks out just like a little bit more. So we can kind of like get a little depth that way. Kind of do the same thing, kind of gesture these guys in, because this is kind of what I wanted to do. You know, we're being a little bit rushed, but this is kind of what I wanted to do with this anyway, because like I was saying in the beginning of the stream, the way that like Jean Paul Leon will like kind of half draw a background because it's like he doesn't need it, you know, like, and I wanted to think more about that kind of stuff. Um, so it's like, yeah, okay, let's get rid of the perspective grid. It's like, okay, yeah, what's the important thing that we want to draw? Well, the restaurant. And then we have a light side and a dark side of the building. So, like, let's use it to our advantage. And then we could even put some, like, cast light on the sidewalk, but we gotta kind of, like, gray out the sidewalk to do that. Um, let's do it, though. It's gonna be a little sloppy. Computer, we're just gonna let the computer run. Mm. Twitch is set to auto. That could be it. I'm like an amateur over here with auto. Let's put the little bit of light from the window. This isn't in the original, but like, you know, we can make some adjustments. And then like the light from the window here cast into the street in the doorway. It's like one of those little rough like platforms. A little pole here. Put another like little pole here. Maybe this is something. I don't know. Um, and then it's like, you know, maybe it's like, you know, mid-afternoon kind of thing. And do some more clouds just to kind of like direct your eye a little bit. And you know what? It ain't perfect, but I feel like it's good enough. We're kind of like creeping some of the building into the background here a little bit. Uh, we're definitely toying with vibe a little more than anything else. But like, I don't know, man. I enjoyed it. I think that like, you know, we started a lot tighter than maybe I would have liked. Um, I mean, it can be fine to be a little tight on this. Uh, let's try to uh, darken some of the top here. Yeah. Um, much like the girls on the couch. Oh my gosh. I feel like I lost a little bit in where I wanted to pull the focus. Like a little more detail in like the focused areas probably would have been good. Um, what are we advertising here? Dank Nugs. There we go. Um, I feel like there's I could have put like a little more time into that. Um, just to kind of get like the signage and everything to look like nice and tight. Maybe this like brick area that I was like kind of rushed through. Um, play with the line weight a little, I guess we could. I'm trying to think right now. Like, what do I got? What do we have time to do? Where can we just spend more time on this? Little like light up the bottom of the signage here. Maybe even light up the bottom of this signage. We could actually let's cast some light too from the bottom here. You looked away for a bit to do your look back, and it's a whole different drawing. I was trying to move as quick as I could, cause I'm getting a little spending a little too long on stream today. I don't know if I like those light trails. Maybe just a little, maybe just a little. They're a little much. Diffuse it a little, I guess. Maybe even put like a little bit of lights in the pavement. Yeah. Let's black this guy out down here. We don't want any white down here. Maybe on the edge. Like it's getting a little bit of rim light, maybe. Up here. Lit from behind. Just a touch. I think we're done. I'm happy with it. It got a little rushed at the end, but had a good time. I think that it is especially play as a littler guy than a bigger guy because it's a sketch. But yeah, fun. I don't know, giving it a shot. What's tomorrow? Friday. Friday is no reference Friday, so we're gonna draw without reference. I don't know what we're gonna be drawing. I was working on a Wolverine thing that I kind of like got into my own head about and then realized I needed to redraw it and then kind of laid it out but didn't actually finish it. Like, so maybe we'll work on that. Just to kind of see how it goes. Thank you for joining me. As always, you can find me on Blue Sky, Nick Phil, or hop into the Discord and like hang out. Thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.